Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So I have recently moved to Atlantic City, maybe about 7 months ago. Came from a small town, had no casinos, had no access to gambling where I was from. And since then, I have picked up a pretty nasty habit of going to casinos. In the past couple of months, I would say less than 2 months, maybe 6 weeks or so, I've lost about $45,000 to $55,000 of my money, basically everything that I have. It started small, started with little bets, $25 here and there, going out with some of my new friends that I met in town, and then all of a sudden, before I know it, I was going out alone. Bets went up to $100 a night, and then $500 a night, and then next thing you know, I'm going in $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a night, and over the course of maybe a week and a half, I really lost a big chunk, and I tried to chase it. And then over the past maybe 3 weeks or so, I've lost everything.
Mm-hmm. James, I'm sorry. How old are you, honey?
Just turned 25.
Pretty scary to be this out of control, isn't it?
Yep. What's really kind of scary for me too is I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything at all. I live a fully sober life. I don't do anything else. I've never had an addiction to anything, never used nicotine, nothing. So first real addiction I think I've ever felt.
Yeah. Well, you're feeling one. There's no question. I mean, you have all the symptoms anyway of somebody who's in the throes of that. You're watching yourself, almost an out-of-body experience, do life-destroying things and still do them anyway. That's the sign of an addict, right?
Yep. And what's really crazy to me is it's like I black out whenever I go. It just feels like I'm not even myself. And then the second I leave the casinos, it feels like I'm kind of back, and I realize what I did.
Are you working?
Yeah, I am.
What do you earn, sir?
About $120 a year.
Doing what?
I own a business.
Okay, good. All right. Well, if I woke up in your shoes, is how we answer questions on this show. George and I are not PhD in counseling like Dr. John Deloney, who's on with us from time to time. But sadly, for 30 years, I've dealt with addicts, and because 100% of addicts eventually have financial trouble. And so I'm afraid I've gotten to know something about this the hard way just by working with a lot of folks struggling with this. So from that's the basis I'm answering the question on. So I'm not telling you I'm a clinical expert. I'm not. I'm just a practical expert because I've dealt with so many people in your situation. So if I woke up in your shoes, what would I do? I would do three things immediately as soon as you hang up the phone. Okay. One, I would find Gamblers Anonymous in your area and contact them. GA. It's Alcoholics Anonymous for Gamblers, 12-step program. Okay. And they have probably one of the better results of helping people with this than anybody out there. Number two, I would find a coach or a counselor, a therapist in the area that you can meet with one-on-one, and you make enough money to afford to meet with someone one-on-one, and you need to start meeting with them immediately. You are in crisis. Okay? They got to give you language for the way your brain is functioning so you can learn how, both of those places will help you with that, so you can learn how to navigate your way away from this. Okay? Now, you moved to Atlantic City to open this business?
No, I've been there for here and there with family and kind of been out there. And then I guess you could say yes, technically. But I didn't move there to open it specifically. It just kind of happened that way.
Okay. What is your business?
It is electronics.
What's that mean?
So, selling, fixing phones, computers, basically anything.
If you don't have success doing those two things, and the third one I'm going to tell you is find a good church in your area and start developing relationships with good men that are not hanging out in casinos. Okay? If those three things together, Gamblers Anonymous, a therapist, and a good church, and revitalizing or causing for the first time your spiritual awakening inside of you, that's going to be part of your healing process. If you can't get those three things together to work, you have to move away from the casinos.
Mm-hmm.
I live in Nashville. There's not any here.
A big problem I've been really having recently is like life has just become not fun anymore. Like daily things, or I don't get the level of excitement that I need from anything. And
Well, it's a false narrative, because the what happens is that anytime you're in an addictive feedback loop, the addict's mind says the only fun thing is when I'm doing the addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything else is boring.
You're chasing that high, and so you always need the newer, better, crazier high, and that's what happened in your situation. So you're going to need to replace those habits with other things that are healthier. Do you have any hobbies currently?
Not anymore. I mean, I used to be into sports, and back where I was from, I had a lot of friends, but since I've moved up here, I don't really know many people.
Yeah,
so
you've got to rebuild.
Really.
You got to rebuild a friend group intentionally as a part of this healing that is not going to casinos, because you do become who you hang around with. You noticed that, right?
Definitely, and they push me. I mean, the friends I go with, they bet big money, so it kind of pushes me to I see
you feel like a wimp when you're
5,000
dropping 10 and they're dropping 100.
Yep.
Or they're dropping 100 and they're dropping 1,000 and you're dropping 100, whatever it is. But yeah, you feel like a wimp. And the opposite is true. I'm the biggest wimp of all, if that's the case, because I can walk through those places and watch other people lose money all day long. It doesn't bother me a bit. I don't feel pressured at all to join the parade of bodies created by these things. And, I'll throw out one other piece of information. James, will you do those three things for me to take care of James?
Yes, and something I've already done as well is Atlantic City has a government-funded, trying to think of the way to phrase this, like a kind of like a GA almost.
Yeah, and I don't know anything about the inner workings of that or if it's successful, but I'm always suspect when the fox says, "Oh, to the hen house, here's how you fix it." It's funded by the gambling people. I'm not saying it's nefarious. I don't think it is. I think it's well-meaning, but it's also a reaction to they had to do something because the PR around the number of lives they're destroying is pretty incredible. And so they had to say, well, if you have a gambling problem, dial 1-800, I've got a gambling problem. And they put that after all the FanDuel ads now. After FanDuel made about $80 billion a minute off of people just like you. And so it just pisses me off. But yeah, that's not a bad move, but it can't be your only move.
Yeah, and then on top of that, there might need to be some guardrails around your bank accounts and your finances to stop you from doing something rash and spending a lot of money. That might mean putting limits on your bank account so you can't spend over a certain amount, or if you have a trusted friend that can keep you accountable, that's going to really help with this, just to remove you. Right now, you need more friction stopping you from doing the thing. Mm-hmm. So as much friction as we can add, removing apps, stopping you. I know there's some apps out there that can help with that as well, as I was looking this up. Gamban, Bet Blocker, there's all kinds of things out there that can help, but it's the one, which one are you actually going to stick with and do? That's the question.
At the bottom line is, what's, Yesterday, Scarcity Loop.
Oh,
is the book, yeah. Read Scarcity Loop by Michael Yesterday. And it's a good book. It's worth reading. And any of you that are just interested in this subject, it's a full unpacking of how the feedback loop works in the brain on several different things. And
Scarcity Brain, Michael Easter?
Scarcity Brain, okay, thank you. And I called him yesterday. Sorry, Michael. God almighty.
Familiar.
Yeah, Michael Easter, thank you. I know him, and he's been here and been on the show, been on stage with us, and I should have known his name. I apologize, Michael. But
yeah, he's brilliant.
My brain couldn't. Scarcity Brain, but it talks about this idea that we chase what we think is scarce, and the gambling addict is the primary thing that covers that he gets into in this book, and it's a very interesting read.
Yeah. The good news is James is young enough that he's going to recover from this, and it'll just be a giant stupid tax. Hopefully, he looks back on.
Yeah.
You will recover.
I lost $50 in one night when I was 21 playing a hand of poker. I didn't know how to play. The last time I played.
Wow.
That was 45 years ago.
That's the hot stuff once.
My addiction lasted one night.
Short-lived.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.